Lashana Lynch. You play Rita Marley in Bob Marley, One Love. Now, I know your co-star Kingsley Benadir was actually called by Ziggy Marley to play the role. How were you chosen to play Rita? What was that experience like?
I My team had been speaking about the project for a while. So we were having conversations with Paramount and the producers to see what they were looking for and how it could come about. Then I eventually got the script, sent in a tape. Um, and before sending in the tape, actually, I met up with Ronaldo Green just to discuss selfishly my thoughts. My thoughts on being a Jamaican woman having this icon's story being told, and just artist to artist really wanted to um, express the importance of the authenticity that will eventually be portrayed in this movie, which a lot of it boils down to accent. I wanted to know that I was auditioning for a project that would protect the accents, protect patois, and really represent Jamaica in the way that I know it deserves, just from my upbringing. Um, and then after being reassured in that conversation, I had a screen test or chemistry read with Kingsley. And I'd known Kingsley for, on and off for some time. We have mutual friends. So I was able to meet up with him for lunch prior to doing the test. And we were just very, yeah, honest in the conversation. We talked about if I got the role, what kind of things would we want to do? Um, how would we want to portray the love story? What do we want the script to look like? Because it's not our first rodeo, and we really understand that, yes, when you get shooting scripts, it is ideal to design around. But there are moments that have to be finessed in order for you to feel like you can sit in your craft whilst shooting this movie, but also that are going to reflect these real people in the most authentic way. So I eventually got the role by walking around Westfield with my friend, doing a bit of shopping, and Ronaldo called me. I couldn't hear a word he was saying because it kept cutting out. But he, yeah, called me and told me I got the role. And it was one of those moments of what should have been celebration was more of a set to task. Okay, we get to work now. Where do I start? What books do I read? What footage do I need to get? Who do I need to speak to? What's the first point of call? And I think the celebrating came, well, right now as I'm talking to you. It's still not landed. But yeah, that was the general gist.
And Rita Marley was actually involved in the film as a producer. How much time were you able to spend with her, and did that help you capture her in your performance?
I was determined to meet her, to spend time with her. I flew to her home on two occasions to spend the afternoon and evening with her, just to capture her essence and to just feel her out as a human being. I think that the artistry and her her public side was very low down on the list for me. I really wanted to see what kind of human being she was, what kind of mother she was, how much she loved Bob and where that came from and how it sits in her. And just give her a chance to say any and everything that comes to mind to this weird person coming in your house telling you that she's going to play you. Um, I came with a bunch of questions and I didn't end up taking my book out. I didn't look at any questions. I didn't write anything down. I just did everything from memory, which is very unlike me because I like to be very prepared and have everything to refer back to on the plane back home. But here it was capturing her feeling, her essence that I know the script needed. She was written powerfully on the script on the page, but I know that between meeting her, speaking with Ziggy, Sedella, Sharon, my conversations with Kingsley, my conversations with Ronaldo, everything needed to be bound by the the vibration that I got from her upon meeting her those two times. And then we also met on set in Jamaica, which was lovely. Not like I had enough time to have a deep conversation with her, but it was um it was a full circle moment, having met her many, 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 many months prior to shooting, and now meeting her in costume as her, doing a live show, which the costume reflected the actual live show that she did. Um, yeah, I it was necessary, and I'm very grateful that she opened up her home to me and was as relaxed and receptive and cool about me and my approach to her and my want for her protection within this film.
And what kind of preparations went into the musical side of her, the singing, the the performance aspect?
Well, I listened to and watched a lot of the live shows live shows in general, but specifically the ones that we were going to uh recreate, if you like, within the film. Um, we got into rehearsals with Polly Bennett just to work out some choreography between the I3s, like how um where they move from and where they sing from. So Rita was maybe more in her shoulders. The other two maybe, have their own style that kind of comes together as a really wonderful trio, almost like the Supremes or a group like that that have already established their sound and their feeling. Um, I was a lot about learning choreography and then throwing it away because you can't seem like you're just doing anything at the side of the stage, but at the same time, you can't just go with choreography also because it needs to be relaxed and sat in. Um, though I'm from a musical background, I knew that I wasn't really lending my voice to the film. I think when we shot the live shows, the three of us um, had we had our mics on and we were singing full power, and but I think we're low down in the mix in the actual film. So I knew that I wasn't, we were going to use the actual stems from the live shows, so that was fine. But still did have vocal sessions and rehearsals on mic, and we worked out our harmonies and where the three of them each sit for every single show and recordings. And we kind of acted as though we were a little group for a few months, which was cool. I've never been in a girl group before. It was quite fun.
The film does capture Jamaican society at a point of crisis, and I feel like the world, to varying degrees, is in a state of crisis around the world. How do you feel Bob Marley's music, kind of carries on and communicates to the times that we're in and the times that as time goes by?
There is a vibration which can't be skated over in terms of reggae in general, but Bob's music in particular, whilst speaking seemingly political, religious lyrics within his songs, also have a peaceful undertone. Even the most raucous, the most raw, the most um, full-bodied songs of his that really captured the political landscape at the time, they also internally make the listener come to a point where they feel like they need to either do something and act, or they need to sit back and reflect on their own morals, their own their own their actual take on the world and what they want to do about current circumstances. Um, there's just like a tonic in his music that I think helps you to put everything that is happening in your life and in your own world and in the wider world aside, and makes you reflect on your own actions and remember that change happens from within first before going out into the world and making a bigger change. I think that that's what a lot of his music spoke about, the inner the inner person, the inner I, um, the inner peace and the inner war that you have within yourself every single day, and what you really want to do about that. Is that something that you want to utilize for change in the world, or is it something that you want to just take on board as entertainment? I'd like to think that he wanted the latter, the former, sorry, hopefully not the latter, a feeling within himself, yes, but you want, I think he wanted people to feel like they had their own radical spirit within themselves that could do something.
And what do you hope the audience will take away from this story? You know, not just Bob Marley's story, but learning about Rita as well, who maybe they weren't as familiar with.
Um, that on on one level, the people that you see in the media, on the news, on social media, in magazines, or as you walk by them on the street, though they're doing wonderful things that are, so impressive and highly entertaining um and are really, setting them aside from many people in their own industries, there is a really a really deep, complicated human within these people, like Bob Marley, who don't always get their time. Not everyone gets the time and gets to the point in their life when they can speak on the things that Bob Marley spoke about. But it is important that we remember to humanize figures like him while we're listening and celebrating music like his in our living room, which is a wonderful and its purpose. It's also important to remember that those lyrics come from somewhere. They come from a spirit within, an experience within, or a torment within that is sending out a message to you to be better, or to question your decisions, question the world. But in this film, I'm just glad that we included all of the things that he comes with, because there's so much in his celebrity that has helped shape the landscape of how we view celebrity today. And I think that sometimes we forget that. So this film is a bit of a reminder to just constantly humanize the person, because choices and lifestyle, they just don't come from anywhere. They are real experiences, sometimes dark experiences, that make people speak up. It's a long-winded way of saying humanize the person that you idolize.
Well, I want to congratulate you on your performance in the film and the success of the film in general. And thank you so much for talking with me about it today.
Of course, thank you for your questions.